You sound so strange, Professor. And yes, splinters can be quite painful, but won't you come out and rejoin us?
I seem to have developed a cold, which is affecting the sound of my voice, you say, playing for time. I'm not even trying to put on a voice. I'm just using my normal voice, apparently. If Aunt Primrose opened the door and saw you with Figs's costume, she would know that you had been party to deceiving her. You cannot have that. You lock the door and then quickly change into the Professor Hickory outfit. We're going to be Figs being Professor Hickory now.
Oh, God.
Plop the wig on.
Oh, God.
Don't
This is a
you
mess.
just love how the situation's... Yeah.
If by love you mean I'm, like, suffering, then yes.
See, I just feel liberated by the fact that I'm not making any of the choices. So it's completely unstressful to me. I think the fact that I'm making no choices combined with the fact that I basically know all the directions it could go. Quickly change into the Professor Hickory outfit, plop the wig on your head, and use the remainder of the glue you have in your pocket to reapply the beard. You leave your regular clothes behind the ornamental screen.
Professor, why is this door locked?
Oh, is it? Let me see. I must have locked it by mistake.
Just turn the latch.
Turn it, you say?
Yes, like any door. Really, Professor?
You open the door. Ah, there we are. Tricky lock, that one, you say, emerging. I use all of my thought power for psychological purposes. I don't spend any of it thinking about locks. Aunt Primrose looks into the sitting room.
Isn't that funny? I somehow thought Cotswold was in there with you.
No, I haven't seen them.
How curious. Come along, Professor. We're all stretching our legs a bit and recovering a bit of appetite before the banana walnut pie comes out.
Bracing yourself, and working to get into character, you mingle with the others. Everyone is breaking off into small groups, chatting and strolling about the first floor of the house.
Over here,
Calls Rory, motioning you into a small study off the main hall.
we can speak privately in here.
You follow Rory in. He closes the door and sits on a chaise longue, moving a large art book that had been resting on it.
Oh.
Oh, no.
It's all right, Figs. We're alone. You can drop the character for a moment. Good gracious, that is one awful beard. You know that, don't you? I'm sure you do.
For a moment, you are terribly confused. Then you realize that Rory thinks you're Figs. Of course.
Why would we try to deceive him?
I mean, we can correct him, we can deceive him. We could also try to pump him for information.
I would just go with the first one, honestly.
Yeah. I agree.
What, we're being, reasonable about this? I must correct you regarding the name Figs, sir. In point of fact, I am Cotswold. But Rory talks over you as you attempt to correct him.
No! We tried.
Yes, Figs. I'm sure you are very excited to tell me all about how much time you've gotten to spend in Mopsy's proximity, but to be perfectly blunt with you, I'm going to hear about that for hours on end from Mopsy, so I'd just as soon cut that particular part of the conversation a bit short. What say you?
Yes, however...
Let me get right to the point.
Rory says quickly.
I need to get your advice as a dear friend who I've known since our school days. Oh, how I laugh to remember how I first met you. Do you remember that moment, Figs?
Well...
Who could forget?
That's
a good way.
Yes, the time we met. Who could forget? Certainly not me.
You remember the...
It is practically burned onto my retinas, you say, slapping your knee.
And do you remember how
they said that thing, and you responded in that very particular way.
Yes, what a memory, Figs.
Rory sighs for a bit, and you sigh a bit as well, although probably a different kind of sigh. It's very Rory.
Yes.
Rory takes a deep breath and then proceeds.
Simply put, Figs, I have developed feelings for Cotswold. Warm feelings. I say this to you because I know that, more than anyone, you understand that in matters of the heart, one can only follow. What do you suggest I do?
You begin to flush slightly in spite of yourself.
You know, of course, that Frankincense and I have announced that we are to be wed. You see the complication. Come now, give me your advice. What should I do? I value your opinion highly. Oh, man. Oh.
I mean, I think Figs would probably say the true love thing anyways. Like, go for it.
Yeah, but we're not
don't want
actually
this, I know.
Figs.
I wish we
I
could
mean-
just tell Rory who we really are.
Yeah. Well, I don't really want to push him away. Callie, would you be okay with going for the first one?
Yes!
Okay.
I convinced Rory that he should act on his feelings for Cotswold, which is not me.
Yes, you're doing stunning voice acting, Cotswold. You are definitely not Cotswold. You are really Figs. Truly.
I'm not at all surprised by your admission, Cotswold, who is a person other than myself, always struck me as an incredibly desirable person, you say,
Really?
says Rory.
But what about Frankincense?
Yes, frankincense, of course, you say. But you must do what your heart tells you, and you are not, after all, married yet.
I'm not. Oh, yes, I'm not. That's right. I'm not.
Rory speaks slowly, as if in dawning realization. I'm not surprised in the least that you've developed these feelings. Frankly, I, Figs, am not surprised you haven't acted on them sooner.
You've certainly given me a lot to think about, Figs. You have a certain pithy way of putting the matter. Desirable, you say.
You and Rory spend the next several minutes discussing the finest aspects of your character, omitting few if any details. Then you walk back to the dining room together, with Rory muttering to himself.
Poor Rory.
This feels a bit skeevy, but
I mean, did
He
he have a
wouldn't-
lot of better choices?
he wouldn't listen. We tried to tell him, and then it got awkward.
Several minutes later, you find yourself sitting at the dining room table, trying to keep your beard out of your mouth, as footmen place slices of delicious-looking banana walnut pie in front of you.
Professor, this is my chef's famous banana walnut pie. It is a decadent treat. Please do enjoy. I had it made especially for you.
You look up and see Regina Wilhelmina peeking out from behind a side door, watching you suspiciously.
Uh-oh.
When she sees you, she retreats. If you had to guess, Regina is up to something. You wonder if she suspects that you are an imposter and has planned something sneaky to draw you out. You look down at the slice of banana walnut pie that has been placed in front of you and narrow your eyes.
Go on, Professor. Don't be shy. Dig in, as they say these days.
Titters Aunt Primrose picking up her own fork.
I think we should eat it. The pie sounds good.
So going for the same chant as before, the eat it. You chanted that in an earlier about the message.
Possibly.
The-
Yes.
Yeah, the message we ate.
Wait, shoot. Is there any hazard of this pie? Like messing our disguise up?
Well, I mean, it's probably difficult to eat with the beard on, but when I saw the last option, I instantly was like, oh, we are bad at skullduggery. If that's skullduggery, then they're just going to see us dropping this pie on the floor.
I think we should try to eat it. What's the worst that could happen? It'll be delicious, if nothing else.
I eat the pie politely. Next. Game over!
What?
No, it's not a game over. Yet. I eat the pie politely. And my friends will find out what happened as a result. You take a hearty bite. You say. It's delicious. Although you do feel a bit lightheaded.
Uh-oh.
Regina steps fully into the room.
Oh, no. But there's no
Really?
such thing as truth serum.
Well, I hate to differ with you, but
I didn't know we were playing a fantasy game, Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
what,
Your
the
fault,
Spinosaurus didn't cue you in?
Ben.
That was our invention.
Yeah, I didn't know our stuff actually contributed to the real world, Ben.
Regina is just very persuasive, and if she says it's truth serum, we believe her.
Well, then we have no gosh dang choice here now, do we?
Well, are you going to read her line?
I've taken the liberty of lacing your slice of pie liberally with truth serum, Professor.
She says coldly.
So here's the question. Who are you?
What choice should we come up with?
Not that one.
Too bad.
I'm clicking.
Yep, yes, we see.
It's like, I don't know, there was no way to guess that would happen. But go ahead.
It warned us that there was something suspicious. And you don't
Yeah,
normally
and-
get a choice to discard a pie unless there's a good reason to do so.
Yeah, well, my thought was that it would be difficult with the beard. So, like, you could completely mess up just trying to eat it with a beard that you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh well, it doesn't matter anyways. Let's go.
oh hey, this happens. There's a stunned silence for a moment. Probably
What
Regina.
did you say? Or sorry.
Maybe it was Primrose. I don't know who said it. I'm guessing
Okay,
it's
whatever.
Regina.
What did you say?
I'm Cotswold, you say,
I'm Cotswold.
says Rory, realizing that something has gone awry.
What?
Aunt Primrose turns to Rory in confusion,
I'm Cotswold.
says Mopsy breezily,
No, you aren't. Are you all right, Mopsy?
says Aunt Primrose angrily. Who wants to be the Laura stand-in?
Emily, because I have too many dang people here.
Okay. I'm Cotswold.
Cries Hayes.
What on God's green earth is going on?
Aunt Primrose says,
I am Cotswold.
says Frankincense, looking slightly confused. Inspector Ambrose makes a few notes in his notebook. Aunt Primrose looks bemused.
What is this, a new parlor game?
You find that the lightheadedness has passed, and you prepare for some falsehood. Yes, you say. It's called I'm Cotswold,
I'm Cotswold!
cries Aunt Primrose.
Well, this is ridiculous. In my day, we played charades and made tableau vivants. It's a rather curious game.
Says Inspector Ambrose.
Yes, indeed. Almost too curious.
He sniffs at his serving of banana walnut pie suspiciously. Next. Aunt Primrose turns to Regina.
Were you saying something about drugging the pie? Did I? Yes, right in the middle of our parlor game.
While Regina attempts to explain herself, you take the opportunity to slip away from the table and into the side room, where you change back into your regular clothes, leaving the Professor Hickory costume tucked away behind the curtain. Then you stroll back into the dining room, where Regina Wilhelmina is attempting to convince Aunt Primrose that Professor Hickory was an impostor and that the house should be searched. Aunt Primrose laughs off the suggestion.
Oh, Cotswold,
Says Aunt Primrose.
you're back.
Yes, I was out taking a stroll and lost track of time.
Would you care for a rousing game of I'm Cotswold? Funny, that's your name.
Yes, a strange coincidence. Regina sidles up to you.
You weren't here to help me when I needed you, Clockwork Waffle Mob's a shrimp. A pity. Looks like he got away, but we'll catch him yet. I'll speak to you later regarding some classified information. I'll contact you.
It seems like a good time to depart, for you to go to have your own dinner down in the servants' dining room, so you excuse yourself and head downstairs. A few minutes later, you seat yourself at the servants' dining table, adjacent to the kitchen. The servants' dining area has little to attract the eye, the only decoration an old devotional painting rejected from upstairs, the subject barely visible through layers of cracked and yellowed varnish. Most of the furnishings, like the plain oak table or the rough-hewn chairs, are refurbished pieces from second-hand shops. But while the room is plain, it is filled with laughter and lively conversation. Many of the household workers are enjoying a well-deserved meal and a moment's rest after the dinner service, and the footmen hang their jackets over their chairs in a striking display of relaxed casualness. Chef Beauregard serves the leftover food from dinner upstairs, as well as some rustic ham, carrot, spinach, and pea quiche with chèvre.
Chèvre.
That's what I said.
I know, I was just repeating you. I love the French words.
That's goat cheese, right?
Yeah.
Valentine pulls up a chair next to yours, and he helps himself to a very large slice of quiche. Then he takes another large slice and puts it next to the first one. Then he takes another even larger slice.
In fact, he just takes the whole quiche.
Oh,
Yep.
what a jerk.
He left 2 crumbs. Valentine nods to you and then begins chatting with some of the second-floor maids about the events of the day, telling a few off-color jokes. He gobbles up several helpings until finally defeated by a goblet of chocolate mousse. It just, blorbled out of the goblet and, slimed towards him and started extending, big tendrils and pulling him in.
I guess that's why he says,
Says Valentine, leaning back and putting 2 hands on his belly. After we extricated him, I guess.
Ew.
Chef Beauregard, on your other side, pours himself a glass of wine and takes out a leather portfolio caked with flour. Who wants to put on a French accent so thick it is difficult to make out without full attention?
Oh, I can do that. I would just do a slightly manlier version of my frankincense accent and more indecipherable. Sound good?
Yeah.
So,
He says in a French accent so thick it is difficult to make out without full attention, although you know for a fact that he has lived in England for over 25 years.
the boat race at the Harvest Festival, she is to be taking place tomorrow, no? Who would like to make the race plus intéressant, more interesting? Who would like to place le wager?
He pronounces wager as if it rhymes with dagger.
Wager. I don't think that's right. Okay, whatever.
That's the
Wager.
point.
Le wager. Okay,
yeah.
whatever.
He pulls out a chart from his portfolio which indicates a number of people from the environs who had placed bets for the upcoming race. Several of the servants make a small wager, or wager, with Chef Beauregard, who notes down their bets carefully.
Ah, Cotswold.
He says, waging a finger at you.
You are looking forward to the better race, yes?
It is
Yes,
all...
and I used the French word for boat. Aren't you proud of me?
No.
Hmm.
Yes, Callie.
Thank you.
It is always a highlight of the festival, you say.
And I hear from, what is the word? The vine of the grapes? That Mr. Patterson has put together a strong team. I hear Scrubs will be coxswain of the team. She will be extraordinary.
Scrubs?
A nickname only. Beatrice Scrubbers, no? Well, perhaps you don't often have cause to go visit our fine laundress.
He says laundress as if it rhymes with undress.
With our experience, our team will be...
He can only express how the team will be by kissing his bunched fingertips.
Mwah! But Colonel Faustner's team is always strong, and we must not discount the police boat, led, as usual, by Deputy Hardcastle. Then there is the Cold Rainers team, who are all quite aged and long-bearded. They might safely be discounted. They have never come in, other than the last place in the decades of racing. They are a rather confused lot.
I see. He leans forward conspiratorially.
I have even heard it claimed that you might be asked to row as well.
Me?
It is the rumor going about. But tell me, purely out of la curiosité, what is your rowing technique?
Yeah, I think it's just making fun of bad accents in, books and movies that are written by, badly written bad accents. Anyway, what is our rowing technique?
Our rowing technique is, I'm either for the cutthroat world of rowing, or that we should follow the rules. What do you think, Emily? Do you want to go very cutthroat?
No, because we're not good at it.
Oh, you're right. Okay, well, let's say it's got rules and rules need to be followed. Maybe.
I feel
Elegance
like
is fair play.
I feel like that's more like us anyway. I mean, except for the whole accidentally pretending to be figs, pretending to be hickory. Okay, actually, we help a lot of our friends do weird things, but...
It's in genre.
We try to do good.
Rowing is a noble sport, and its tradition and regulations should be abided by in the spirit of elegance and free and fair play. That one.
Yes.
Okay. Beauregard looks at you with a frozen smile.
Fair play, you say?
Above all else,
I'd like to change my bet.
says one maid.
No changing your wagger. Wait a moment, this may affect the odds.
Beauregard starts doing sums on a piece of scrap paper. Schwarzenegger time.
Woo.
Wait, what? Schwarzenegger? Here we go. What is going on here?
The imposing voice of Carlington the butler rings out from the doorway.
It certainly is imposing.
Yeah.
I am a very imposing butler. Check out my many muscles.
You can see them through his butler outfit. They're just that
Yes.
imposing.
Beauregard, are you taking bets? I distinctly ask you not to do so in this house.
He steps forward into the room, followed by Regina Wilhelmina, her housekeeper's keys jingling at her side.
I am most certainly not,
Says Beauregard in an affronted tone, clearing his flour-dusted portfolio off the table with a practiced sweep.
I hope you have all had the decency to refrain from gambling in Mrs. Patterson's virtuous house.
Carlington fixes you all with a steely gaze.
Steely because he's a robot. Now all of you please find somewhere else to be. I have some important business to conduct with Cotswold. And with you, Valentine, is it? Yes. You both stay. Everyone else, back to work, if you please. Hasta la vista, baby.
He makes a motion of dismissal, and everyone besides you and Valentine, takes their leave. He stands at the head of the table, hands on the back of his chair, with Regina flanking him. Valentine looks absolutely terrified, which is probably the correct reaction to being one of two people being faced by a Terminator and a motorcycle lady.
Absolutely.
What is your attitude? We can comfort him, which, by the way, probably would have been especially effective, I bet, if we were romancing him, but we're only romancing 2 out of 4 people.
I don't want to feel like we're cheating on the 2 people we're in love with, but I like being kind to characters, and he's so new and scared, and
Help, sweet boy. Let's help.
Yeah, I don't know. Valentine's my second favorite romance. Not that this is a romantic thing. This is not a romantic gesture.
Yeah, it's just like a comforting.
When it becomes a smooch thing, then it's a romance.
And Carlington doesn't even have a relationship bar, so.
Because he's a Terminator and he can't form relationships.
Oh.
Confirmation.
I put a hand on his shoulder comfortingly and whisper a word of comfort.
So extra comfort.
Yeah. It's all right, Valentine. I'm right here, you say. Valentine looks thankfully at you with big worried eyes.
The 2 of you are obviously close.
Carlington says dryly.
This is not a shoulder-patting situation. Indeed, this is in part why you are here, Cotswold. You and Valentine arrived at Ritornello together, and so you may be able to shed some light on the subject.
What is this about?
Blurts out Valentine. Carlington gives Valentine his stern butler look, a look that has historically unnerved strong men and women and made them run crying from the room.
Oh. That's like his Terminator look.
Yeah.
I understand, Valentine, that you claim to have been hired by this household. My records, however, show no such hire.
That can't be right,
says Valentine.
I have examined all of the records in great detail, and your claim that Mrs. Patterson hired you is false. You are here under false pretenses. What do you have to say for yourself?
Carlington asks.
It's a mistake,
says Valentine.
I was hired. I was.
Carlington takes a step back and clasps his hands together in thought.
I would not wish to dismiss an employee without cause if this is simply a matter of misplaced paperwork,
he says.
Nevertheless, I would have heard of any new hire. I did not hire you. You must admit the situation is rather suspicious, especially considering that the sneak thief known as Light-Fingered Lou has been known to be burglarizing estates in the area. I ought to dismiss you at once and summon the police. Yes, we will alert the proper authorities,
says Regina. She gives you an arch look that lets you know that the proper authorities certainly means the inner circle, not the police. Valentine looks horrified and sinks low in his chair.
While there may possibly be alternate explanations for your irregular conduct, you must understand that we are gravely concerned,
says Carlington.
But haven't I been doing a good job?
Valentine squeaks.
You haven't.
Oh.
No. Not really. Sorry.
You have.
Says Carlington.
I cannot deny that. You have performed fairly well, and had this information not come to light, I would say you did not perform absolutely shamefully on your first day. And yet here are the facts.
Well, that's variable, so I guess he did better than he could have. He did horribly with the party, but we gave him some good advice, so that helped.
Yeah.
You look at Carlington and Regina, and then at the quietly weeping Valentine.
So, like, the guidance that we gave him actually changed this outcome?
Yeah.
I mean, like, not
that
the
does have
outcome, just like how well he did.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because I don't remember the exact text, but it can be Carlington's response here can be that Valentine did much worse or much better. So we kind of got middle of the road, I think. Yeah, so something is not what it seems.
The problem is I don't know for sure. It's like, as far as I know, Valentine is innocent and just like eager to please, but he could be lying to us. I don't know. We didn't find any evidence about who is an interloper or what an interloper would be trying to do here.
We spent more time kissing cute boy.
Yeah.
I don't think we should, like, stick our neck out too far for this guy, because we really don't know if he is or isn't.
Yeah, because it's like pledging on my honor. It's like, I like Valentine, but again, we just met him. I don't really know him that well.
We should probably just stay quiet. I don't want to screw things up with Rory worse.
Okay, well, just so you know, this choice will have consequences.
They all do, Ben.
Yeah.
Are you displeased with us?
My face clearly shows my displeasure with their judgment. But I say nothing.
The problem is, Ben, we can't see your face, so it can't really apply to you.
Oh, also I'm kind of smirking right now, to be honest.
Oh, what does that imply? Ugh.
It implies that I'm amused. And also that I know more than you do. Ha ha.
I know you do.
That's what happens.
You remind us of this fact very often.
Very often.
Innocent face. Carlington observes your displeasure, frowns, and then, without looking at you, turns to Valentine. The big clock ticks in the servants' dining room, each second seeming to echo shatteringly through the room.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. After weighing this situation quite carefully, I've come to a decision,
says Carlington at last, clasping his hands behind his back. Valentine wipes his eyes and waits. I don't know exactly what the decision will be based on the previous variables, so we'll find out what happens.
Valentine, I have decided that we will speak no more of this. There has been some irregularity, clearly, but I do not think it is serious enough to have you arrested or fired at this time. If your behavior remains unacceptable, I have no objection to your staying on.
Did you say if your behavior remains unacceptable?
I think I did.
If you continue to use your pogo stick to travel around the estate.
I enjoy the pogo.
That's the only reason we're keeping you, is because he's a pogo stick fan.
I love the pogo. You let me borrow your pogo stick, you can stay on. If your behavior remains acceptable, I have no objection to you staying on. However, I would require that you borrow the pogo stick out to me every once in a while, and you go through the standard interview process once things settle down at the Harvest Festival. I make no promises as to the result there.
Fine by me.
Valentine says, standing up and hugging himself out of sheer anxiety and relief. I'm surprised. I thought at this point he was going to be fired, so that went better than I thought.
I wonder what we did that, like...
Maybe the short rounds were very soothing.
I think it's probably because we did give him some good advice so he wasn't a completely horrible servant.
Okay.
Because I think when I was playing, I was very nice to him and didn't give very good advice.
Oh.
Because he was by himself.
Happen.
Regina assumes a studied neutral expression.
You will, of course, look after him.
She says to you,
I would ask that of you. Off to bed now.
Carlington says to Valentine.
We'll have work to do tomorrow, and I will have no excuses that you are tired.
He and Regina depart, leaving you and Valentine alone in the servants' dining room. Valentine heaves a sigh of relief.
Thanks.
He says.
That went about as well as it could have. I owe you one.
Not at all, you say. Good night, then.
Good night.
It seems that all complications have finally been dealt with. Ha ha ha! No, they haven't.
Thanks for letting us know, Ben.
And you head back upstairs to prepare for what is sure to be an uneventful and restful evening.
Sure.